So my disbelief in God kind of began really in high school, I would say. Um, I could not believe that a God that people said was this loving and great God would let horrible things happen. And then being an engineer and a scientist, I was very much facts-based. I wanted facts. I wanted to know the truth. So I believed in evolution. I believed in that the world was the Big Bang. So it was more of the science upbringing that kind of, and then all my friends were all engineers and scientists. So it was just kind of the way I grew up, I guess, after high school. So I met a guy that I started dating who was starting to grow in his faith, and then as he grew, he would ask me questions and I would ask him questions to prove him wrong and to figure out what he really meant. Then I also would ask ladies at work questions that were also strong believers to kind of confirm what I'd already asked him. I decided to go to a church. So I found a church. I started going there. I met with the pastor there. And I was going through a Sunday school class there. And as I was going through, one of my biggest things that I struggled with was how is God allowing all the bad things to happen? And he gave a sermon that was over a little girl that had cancer. And then he talked about how her being sick actually brought blessings to all these other people and all the benefits that it brought, even though it was so devastating and sad. It changed my view. It opened my heart a little bit when he did that. And then one of the ladies that I work with, when I talked to her about it, it stuck with me. She said, "Why not believe?" She goes, "If we're wrong, you still lived a good life." She said, "But if we're right, you know where you're going." She's like, "So why not believe in God?" I accepted Christ in my car in the parking lot of the church. It was after one of the sermons. I decided that I was going to trust it and that I was going to open my heart, and that's when I started reading the Bible every day. I started learning, and I started just letting him work in my life. I feel like I've grown in the fact that I was a very, very anxious person to the point where I had panic attacks. I was diagnosed with anxiety. Till now, I am less anxious. I feel like I trust him more to the point where I was asked to actually be a panelist for a engineering women's retreat, which was 150 women. And I did it without panicking. So I feel like I've grown more in the fact that I've learned to trust him more, and all my anxiety that I had is now given to him. And I feel like I'm able to live a life that's for him and not really for pleasing others. My faith in God is strong, and even though I work with a lot of non-believers, their opinion on him and how they think don't affect me. And I'm committed to God and his truth and his word and living out my life for him.